Playing that the Red Sox fans know their way around Citizens Bank Park, and we get set for Game 1 of a 3-game series, the American League against the National League once again in Major League Baseball. Hi, everybody. I'm Tom McCarthy, along with Gary Matthews. Chris Wheeler will be here in just a little bit. Well, only the Baltimore Orioles and the Phillies have faced each other more times since interleague play got underway in 1997. The Red Sox and the Phillies, they've built up this rivalry. And Sarge, this year, they'll play a home-and-home series in Philadelphia and Boston.
Yeah, this is a good time to really make your hay in your particular league by winning those ball games in interleague play. Now, take a look here at the graphic. All-time record there for the Fighting Phils, 96 and 121. Well, they've won some games, but really not really great. What you would think that they'd be able to win a little bit more. You see what they've done against the Red Sox there, Tom? 15 and 22.
Yeah, the Red Sox have had the Phillies number during interleague play, particularly of late. In fact, the Phillies are 4-14 in the last 18 games against the Sox. One of the reasons why? Well, they've got a pretty good offensive lineup, the Red Sox, and they are led this year by Kevin Youkilis.
Yeah, this is becoming his team for sure. 292 lifetime average coming into the year. This guy's a clutch player. He is the MVP of the Red Sox here so far. Take a look at this now as he hits his 100th home run off of maybe another Hall of Famer, CC Sabathia. Again, this is a guy that gives you all he can on the field there. Take a look there at his average. We talked about him being MVP, just about first in every category. Look at those RBIs. And not only that, this guy stands on the plate, Tom. So far during his career, he's been hit 63 times.
That's why his on-base percentage for his career is so high. The walks and also the hit batters to go along with a pretty high career batting average as well. So it's the Red Sox and the Phillies getting together one more time here in interleague play. Tonight, a pretty good pitching matchup. John Lackey over from the LA Angels of Anaheim, making his second career start against the Phillies, and he'll be opposed by left-hander Cole Hamels. Well, throughout this weekend, you know it's going to be loud, not only with the Phillies fans, but also the Sox fans. The lineups are coming up next. The way the territories are set up, is it the Orioles, is it the Red Sox? Well, they've played both of them many times. In fact, the Orioles a few more times than the Red Sox. This has turned out to be a pretty decent rivalry between these two teams, probably because both of these teams have been pretty good over the last 10 years or so.
Yeah, it's been a while since they had a home and home, too. So, you know, the Phillies haven't been to Boston for a long time, so it'll be fun to go up there in a few weeks.
Well, the American League has certainly had the upper hand over the National League in interleague play. In fact, they've had a better record in 9 of the 13 years that interleague play has taken place. You see 1,674 wins for the American League. They've hit more home runs. They have a better batting average. And I'm surprised, but they have a better ERA to boot. Just a tad better than the National League. Let's take a look at tonight's Boston Red Sox starting lineup. It's brought to you by Xfinity, only from Comcast. Leading it off at shortstop, Marco Scutaro. Dustin Pedroia, the second baseman, bats second. Victor Martinez hits third, followed by Kevin Youkilis, the first baseman. J.D. Drew is in right field hitting fifth. Adrian Beltre bats sixth. Bill Hall will sub in left field for the Red Sox. He's the number 7 hitter. Darnell McDonald also will sub in center field. He's hitting eighth and batting ninth. And pitching is John Lackey. They will face left-hander Cole Hamels, who Wheels has continued to progress as this year's gone on, and he's gotten better and better.
And he'll have his work cut out for him tonight, Tom, because these guys have been knocking starting pitching around, left-handed pitchers for the last few times and knocking them out of games early. So Cole will be tested here tonight, and you're right, he has been much better lately. And we say he's been tested by a good lineup. He has been improving as we check out that Southwest Airlines scouting report. I think one of the things he's been doing a lot better lately is locating his fastball, not only down, but also up. And he's used it really effectively to be able to get hitters out when they're looking down for pitches.
Cole in his last outing against the Brewers went 6 2/3, allowed 6 hits and 2 runs, walked 3, struck out 3. And he'll go to work against the Boston Red Sox for just the second time in his career. Facing Marco Scutaro. Scutaro, a free agent acquisition from the Toronto Blue Jays. Boy, did he have a career year last year for the Blue Jays, and that earned him the long-term contract with the Sox. Overall, hitting .267 with a couple of home runs and 7 RBIs.
He has a really sore left elbow, and you see that pad on there. He missed a couple games, and he had to have an injection evidently in his elbow, and back playing here tonight.
Well, the first pitch of this weekend series, a fastball taken for a strike, so we're underway, and the count is 0-1.
See that, you know, that because the elbow's so sore, he certainly doesn't want to take any chance of having a pitch hit him there.
Well, the Red Sox have a number of guys who are banged up. Jacoby Ellsbury will be back sometime this weekend. He's still on the DL. Mike Cameron the same. At the knees, 0-2 the count to Scutaro.
He's an on-base guy, is Marco Scutaro. And the Phillies played the Blue Jays a lot last year, and he was leading off for them. And he doesn't strike out. He's always among the fewest strikeouts in the league. And he gets on base a lot. He'll walk, too.
That's the case for a number of successful American League teams. Good on-base percentage. And a changeup lifted down the right field line. Worth on the run. It hangs up there for him. One away here at the top of the first.
So the Phillies have been playing these quick games this week. Well, now these guys are in town, the Red Sox, and if the Phillies go back to the way they were playing, you will not have those kind of games.
Now, the Red Sox, like the Phillies, have scored 219 runs this year. In fact, Red Sox and the Phillies have the 3rd best run total in all of Major League Baseball. Red Sox come in 22-20. 2 games over 500. This is the best they've been over the 500 mark this season, but they're still 8.5 games out in the American League East because the Rays have been so hot, and Terry Francona knows that his team has its work cut out for them.
They're 9 in the loss column. It's only May, but you know, as you say, he's well aware of the fact that they got off to a terrible start. They've been playing a little bit better lately, but they have a ways to go, and they're going to go down and play Tampa after they leave here.
Kevin Youkilis waiting his turn, the number 4 batter for the Red Sox. Dustin Pedroia, the former American League MVP, stands in. The count 1 ball and 1 strike to him. A fastball high, 2-1. Pedroia overall, as you saw, hitting .281 with 8 homers and 25 runs batted in. He has the 2nd most hits in the American League since 2008, trailing only Ichiro.
This guy is some player. You talk about a dirt ball. And that's an affectionate term for a guy that plays the way this guy plays the game, and Pedroia plays it right.
See the standings in the American League East. The Red Sox, and the surprising thing is not that they're behind the Rays and the Yankees, but they're also behind the Blue Jays, who are 25-18.
Blue Jays hit a lot of homers.
2-2 the count to Pedroia. And a breaking ball just misses. I think that fooled the home plate umpire, Gary Cederstrom.
That's as good a curveball as he can throw. And Charlie just looking out there saying, "No, one high and a one low."
Well, that's a good pitch. And a swing and a miss. He got him on a high fastball. 2 away here in the first inning.
That's that point we were making about his high fastball has become a weapon for him. And he tries to elevate some of these fastballs, and he's getting some strikeouts on them.
During the 2010 season, Turkey Hill will contribute $100 for each Phillies victory and 5 cents for each carton of Phillies Graham Slam ice cream, sold to support the Phillies youth baseball and softball programs.
Here it is. Now, whether he did that on purpose, I don't know. But it's been very effective for him lately.
So Cole picks up his first strikeout, 53rd of the season.
You don't have to throw that kind of high fastball that hard either. That's not a high velocity pitch. It can be, but it doesn't have to be, because the odds are if they hit it, they're going to pop it up or foul it off. So, or the ideal thing is to swing through it the way that Pedroia just did.
0-1 the count to Victor Martinez, a switch hitter batting right-handed. Cole delivers 2 curveballs in a row to Martinez, and it's even 1-1.
Victor Martinez, we saw him with the Indians for a number of years. He's a really, really good offensive player. He's also played a lot of first base, and he's just kind of an okay catcher.
Off the outside corner, 2-1. Martinez 5 for 8 in the most recent series for the Red Sox against the Twins. And see what he's done right-handed this year. See what he's done left-handed this year.
He had 3 doubles in the game last night. Boy, they've had a weird schedule. 2 games in New York, then back home for 2, and then down here. He wants to get that pitch for his guy. Thought that was low.
There's Gary Cedarstrom calling the balls and strikes tonight.
Palacki's a guy that pitches with his fastball a lot. We'll get into him later on, but he'll pitch down too, so he wants that pitch for him.
Here comes the 2-2 from Hamels to Victor Martinez. And a foul ball over the first base dugout. Victor Martinez has taken over the catching duties from the Red Sox, and this is one of the issues that Boston has. Is that gentleman made a very nice grab. They have a lot of veteran players who have been such a big part of their success under Terry Francona that are diminishing in their skills. Jason Varitek is one, a great leader, but not the same kind of player he used to be. Martinez has pretty much been the main catcher for him.
Well, Tito had to spend a lot of time tonight, and we can get into that later, but he had to spend a lot of time tonight with David Ortiz, with the media, talking about some of the things that have been going on lately, and he's just kind of worn out by it right now. You can tell it. You get a lot of immediate attention down here, and he says he knows what it was like here. He says you cannot believe the difference in New England of what it's like being a whole region's team.
Again, the 2-2 pitch in the air to left field. That's pretty well hit. Ibanez going back, and the Red Sox lead it 1-0. 10th home run allowed by Cole this season. 6th of the year for Martinez.
Well, that's been a little bit of a problem for him lately, home run balls. A lot of Red Sox fans here as always. Just like when the Phillies go up to Boston, it seems like they get a lot of tickets up there. There it is. That's the bad high fastball. Talked about the good high fastball. The bad one is the one in the middle of the plate, about thigh high or belt high, and they take a long ride, and that one did.
So it's 1-0 Boston. Here's Kevin Youkilis. Youkilis takes a pitch on the inside corner. Kevin Youkilis has been one of the best hitters in the American League during the month of May. He's batting .411 in May. When you have somebody like Victor Martinez hitting a home run like that, it kind of helps you as the cleanup batter. But quickly, Cole works ahead. No balls and 2 strikes.
Well, Youkilis in the cleanup spot, and he leads the league in walks. He's got 22 walks in the month of May. He is a guy, as you see the breakdown on him there, he is a guy that really sees a lot of pitches.
He was late on that fastball, and Cole got it up to 95 miles an hour. And we've seen that recently from Cole, not in his last 2 starts, but in his start before that.
The fastball that Martinez hit out was 91. just don't have a lot of easy innings against this lineup and the Yankees and teams like that because there's so many foul balls and so many pitches that they take.
Change up low, and it's 1-2. Youkilis has reached base safely in 20 consecutive games. He has the oddest start to his stance that you're going to see in baseball.
He has his hands split, and then he pulls them together at the last second, holds the bat way above his head. He didn't used to hit like that. That started a few years ago. And, you know, obviously it's successful. That pigeon-toed stance.
And he works it ahead. 3 balls and 2 strikes. Another close pitch that Hamels wanted.
Ho-hum. He was 0-2. Now he's 3-2.
J.D. Drew waits on deck. And a swing and a miss and a changeup. Good pitch from Hamels. Second strikeout of the inning for Cole. And the Red Sox are retired here at the top of the first. They do get a run on the home run by Victor Martinez. The catcher bats 8th, and batting 9th and pitching is left-hander Cole Hamels. And for the first time since Game 6 this year, the Phillies have their normal lineup out there against John Lackey.
John Lackey's had a great career, of course, with the Angels. Moving over here as a free agent. Those are the numbers on him this year. Not great numbers, but this guy is a bulldog competitor.
Right-handers hitting .318 against him this season. And Jimmy Rollins greets him with a hard one-hopper off the body of Youkilis, and one away here in the first.
And let's check out the Southwest Airlines scouting report on the veteran right-hander John Lackey, now 31. Those are a lot of different fastballs. You look at this scouting report on him, and all I could think was, and that's why I put it in there, he's a Halliday clone. You know, he throws all those different fastballs, good changeup, and according to Terry Francona, you go out to the mound to take him out, and you really don't want to be near him. And that just sounds like Halliday.
Well, he has struggled his last 2 outings. He's allowed 11 earned runs in his last 13 innings, and he's walked 7 during those 2 outings. But he starts ahead of Polanco 0-1.
And he's a big, thick-bodied guy like Roy Halladay. And you look at the American League numbers over the last few years, and those guys are right there in a lot of the same categories.
The Lucky McDonald's Phillies home run jackpot contestant is Shala Rabar from Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. If the Phillies hit a home run in today's ball game, then Shala will win $100. Off the end of the bat. And it's 1 ball and 2 strikes to Polanco. Placido is 4 for 16 on this homestand. Boy, he has played really well over at third base. In fact, he has the top fielding percentage of any third baseman in the National League, and he's made some tough plays. Adrian Beltre is another good one, but he has the most errors of any third baseman in the American League. See Polanco's numbers against Lackey from their time in the American League. Two balls, 2 strikes, the count.
You watch Lackey from the center field camera like this and watch the way his ball runs all over the place. Has really good movement on his fastball.
Lackey last year won 11 games for the Angels at a 3.83 earned run average. The year before that he won 12 games, but his best year, well, that came when he won 19 games in 2007, led the American League in earned run average with a 3.01 mark, and see, he's among the active leaders in Angels history in victories, trailing just Chuck Finley, Nolan Ryan, and Mike Witt. But Polanco's ahead, 3 balls and 2 strikes. In the air to center field, backing up is McDonald. Out to the warning track, and he makes the catch. The ball carried pretty well off the bat of Polanco, and they're 2 away. Hey, Phillies fans, this season it's easier than ever to find seats you want or sell tickets to the games you can't make on StubHub, the official fan marketplace of the Philadelphia Phillies. Go to StubHub.com and choose your seats today.
StubHub!
Well, they hit 2 balls on the nose. Jimmy Rollins hit a shot at Youkilis, and Tom said that ball was hit well and really carried.
Well, that brings Chase Utley to the plate. Chase with 10 homers and 23 runs batted in. 8 of his home runs have come here at Citizens Bank Park.
Phillies don't have a whole lot of history against John Lackey. They only faced him once, and that was back in '03. He was really good that night in a game out in Anaheim. Beat him 2-1.
As Will said, he's a big body guy, 6'6", 245 pounds.
He got himself a 5-year free agent contract here with the Red Sox.
He was one of the marquee pitchers available on the open market this offseason. He, along with Joel Pinheiro from the St. Louis Cardinals. Lackey signed with the Red Sox. Pinheiro signed with the Angels. And that one's over at the knees, and it's 1-2. Roy Halladay, acquired from the Toronto Blue Jays by the Phillies. Well, he became the marquee pitcher on the market this past offseason.
Yeah, the difference being you had to do a trade for Halladay, and Lackey was a free agent.
Chase 2 for 5 on the homestand. Missed a couple of games because of the flu. Outside, ball 3. So the second straight batter that Lackey has fallen behind. 3 balls and 2 strikes. And Ryan Howard, who has been a hot hitter for the Phils, is in the on-deck circle. Saw Chase's numbers in interleague play. He's hit well during interleague games, but he's also hit very well here at home this season. Said those 8 home runs, but also a .339 batting average. And a breaking ball outside for ball 4. So Chase is aboard with 2 outs.
Well, that's a gutsy pitch, huh? A 3-2 curveball with Ryan Howard on deck. And he just missed one. But normally you don't see that. You know, with a guy like Howard on deck in this ballpark on a hot night, throw a 3-2 breaking ball, the guy in front of him take a chance on walking him.
Well, Ryan, as we said, has been one of the hotter hitters for the Phillies. He has reached base safely in 15 consecutive games.
Look where Pedroia is. You can hardly see him. Except for those Red Sox. Look at the second baseman where he is over here.
Yeah, in fact, Scudero is playing where the second baseman normally would be if he were cheating over towards second for a double play.
Look at that, how deep he is.
So the conditions, 81 degrees. It is going to be warm here this weekend. Very light breeze out of the southeast. And the 0-1 pitch in the dirt. 1 ball and 1 strike. Not sure if Chase will think about going at all with Ryan Howard at the plate. You don't want to take the bat out of Ryan's hands, but Charlie Manuel's seen the numbers. He realizes that the Red Sox have given up more stolen bases than anybody in baseball. 48 stolen bases against the Red Sox catchers and their pitching staff during the course of the season. And a breaking ball high. 2-1 the count to Howard.
Yeah, and your point well taken about Utley running in this situation, because you certainly don't want it to be one of those cases where they would throw a guy out with Ryan Howard up on a hot night, because the ball's going to fly here tonight. It already has.
Another curveball, and that one drops in this time for strike 2. It's 2-2. Good month of May for Ryan. In fact, the Phillies as a team have the best batting average in the National League in the month of May, and that's partly because of Ryan's success. And a swing and a miss, and Ryan is down on strikes, and the inning is over. So the Phils do get a base runner, a 2-out walk to Chase Utley. We've completed 1. We go to the Drew leads it off. Drew hitting .271, 6 home runs so far this season, and he takes a curveball for a strike.
And he comes in here as a hot hitter too. They'd say he is swinging the bat great right now.
.333 over his last 25 ball games, but 0 for 8 in the series against the Twins.
Treatment he's gotten here has never really bothered him. He's always hit well in Philadelphia. He's hit a lot of home runs in this ballpark, and you know, he seems to kind of just ignore it. You see his career numbers against the Phillies are really good.
Former #1 pick by the Phillies, who did not sign and was eventually tossed back into the draft a year later and signed by the Cardinals. And you see his numbers in interleague play: 25 homers and 74 runs batted in. You know, even with all that said, he probably hasn't reached the potential that everybody thought he would.
Right.
When he was drafted number one in by the Phillies.
Well, Scott Boras only said he was the next Mickey Mantle. That's all.
It's tough to be the next Mickey Mantle. Raul Ibanez makes that grab in foul territory. And 1 out here in the second inning.
Phillies just need to pick it up anyway in interleague play. They've been terrible in interleague play. Especially here in this ballpark with the home advantage. They had that 1-8 homestand last year against the American League. The only game they won was against the Red Sox. So overall in interleague play. They'd really like to do a little bit better. All that said and done, they've been to the World Series the last 2 years with terrible interleague numbers. But it would really help their cause if they play a little bit better against the American League.
The Phillies are 10-23 against the AL the last 2 seasons. Adrian Beltre now the hitter, hitting .316 overall as you saw, and he takes a pitch low, and it's 1-0. There's been some talk about whether Beltre would sit it all this weekend, and Kevin Youkilis would move from first base over to third base, which is his natural position. And then David Ortiz would make a start or 2 over at first base for the Red Sox because he's been so hot in the month of May.
Terry Francona indicated tonight when he was talking to the Boston media that Youkilis will not play third this weekend. He did not tip his hand on what he was going to do. He did indicate that Ortiz could possibly play 1 game and it could be tomorrow. But, he just didn't say.
A 1-1 pitch to Beltre. Swing and a miss at a high fastball, and it's 1-2.
He said he didn't think it was fair to Youkilis to put him over there, even though he thought he could play it. He thinks he's much more comfortable at first.
Tried to tie him up with a fastball, and it's 2 balls and 2 strikes. Boy, Cole's velocity has been really good again here tonight.
He's located his fastball really well early in this game, except that 3-2 to Victor Martinez, and Martinez hit it out of the ballpark. He could have popped it up, but he hit a home run.
Beltre got a piece of that changeup, and it remains 2 balls and 2 strikes. Beltre most recently was with the Seattle Mariners, and he was a free agent pickup by the Red Sox this past offseason. There was a lot of talk about the third basemen that were available on the market this past offseason. Because the Phillies, the thought was, were in need of a third baseman, and they were, and they picked up Placido Polanco. Sean Figgins was signed by the Mariners essentially to take over for Beltre, although he's played a lot of second base for Seattle. So this was the year of the third baseman.
Yep. Now, Beltre was a huge disappointment with Seattle, and he's been hurt a lot.
Gets a piece of that one, fouls it, I believe, off of Cedarstrom.
Chooch checked his mask, too.
May have hit both of them. I couldn't see if it hit the mask.
Cedarstrom has one of those hockey goalie masks, and they usually make a real clang, too, when they hit it.
Oh, no, it didn't hit Carlos.
And hit his shoulder pad.
Yeah. Another foul ball by Beltre. So it remains 3 balls and 2 strikes. Nice play by one of Philadelphia's finest.
Yeah, it's a nice little souvenir. Get Beltre to sign it later in that third base dugout. 35 pitches already. That's what it'll be like here tonight with this lineup. All these foul balls, one after another. You get in these American League games with each teams, and they keep the at-bats alive. It's amazing. They're just built for it.
Well, Charlie knows full well about that in his days in Cleveland. He also knows it from the way the Phillies have played this year. They've been very patient at the plate. This is the 10th pitch of this at-bat coming. And it's a pop-up foul up to the right now to play.
Yeah, it just wears a guy out, a pitcher out. It's hot here tonight. And, you go 11 pitches with a guy who's a power hitter necessarily. This isn't even one of those slap guys who's up there fouling balls off like a Pedroia, you would think, or Scudero, and he throws a long at bat at you. It is Beltre.
Spun him away. It's full 3-2.
That's at least 3 3-2 counts that he's had.
On deck hitter Bill Hall, the former Brewer. And a changeup swung on and missed. Beltre down on strikes despite a dozen pitches. And that's the 3rd strikeout for Hamels.
Yeah, he went 3-2 on Youkilis, struck him out on a 3-2 changeup, strikes Beltre out on a 3-2 changeup. Getting a lot of foul balls off fastballs and cutters, then throws the changeup there and gets him out front.
So Beltre is down on strikes. 3 strikeouts for Hamels, and here's Bill Hall. Hall is just 1 for his last 15, and he has not had a very good year at all. In fact, he hasn't had a very good 2 years. Last year he combined to hit .201 between Milwaukee and Seattle. Only 8 home runs. This after hitting 35 home runs in 2006.
Yeah,
the Milwaukee Brewers.
This guy looked like a heck of an extra man and then became an everyday player, and then it's just gone the other way.
And Cole is ahead, no balls and 1 strike. And the pitch. Swing and a miss, and he was very late on that one. It's 0-2.
He was in another zip code on that. Hamels, I don't know what he's going to do tonight, but he has really good stuff tonight. It's just encouraging to see the way he's throwing the ball now.
Taking a long look in at Carlos Ruiz. Carlos wants one thing. Cole wants another.
Now he finally pointed out, and Hamels, all right, let's go. We'll go through him again. But they tried everything there. He saw fastball in, fastball away, curveball, changeup, fastball up. They couldn't figure out what they wanted to do.
They're still not on the same page. I think Carlos wants another fastball.
I don't know. Well, they're using different type of signs too. They must be using combos or something after something, because he's putting down all kinds of different stuff. It looks like a
It was supposed to be a fastball away, and it was fastball a little high and in the strike zone, and it remains no balls and 2 strikes. Carlos over the last few years has gotten into a good position. Look where he holds the glove. I mean, the way he sits has been really good.
Yeah, and he did not want a high fastball, as you said, you know, when he's sitting with a glove in that position.
In the dirt, and it's 1-2. There was another curve from Cole. He's thrown a few of them in the first few innings. Mentioned Cole's last start. I mean, he's been pretty good at his last 3 starts. In fact, 2-0 with a 2.75 earned run average. He's held left-handers in check quite nicely. And he's ahead 1-2 to the right-handed hitting Bill Hall. And a swing and a miss and a high changeup. 4th strikeout for Cole Hamels, and he retires the side in order here in the National League East. They've got their normal lineup intact for the first time since the first week of the season. And Jason Worth pops the first pitch up from John Lackey. Mile high on the right side of the infield. And Pedroia makes the catch. Charlie Manuel was waiting for Jimmy Rollins to get a few at-bats before he put him back in the leadoff spot. Plus the fact Shane Victorino has scuffled a little bit in the last few days. So Charlie felt that tonight was the right night to make that move.
Said he had a long talk. You can say long. He said he had a talk with Victorino today about his position in the lineup, his position on the team, how when he bats seventh, he can do more things than he could necessarily do leading off. Give him more freedom. He can be down there swinging the bat more. He doesn't have to think about taking pitches. He doesn't think about situation hitting as much. He can steal more bases and go get them. And Shane was fine.
Ibanez, the hitter, and the count 1-1 to Ibanez. He had the big hit yesterday. The game-winning single that gave the Phils the win over the Cubs. Earned a split in that 2-game series. Raul has 18 hits and 48 at-bats against Lackey during his career. And outside with a fastball, and it's 2-1.
Think about stealing more bases if you're the leadoff guy. We'll get back to that in a second. Here's the pitch from Grabo that was hit by Ibanez, and then Fugidome had trouble getting it out of his glove, and Chase Utley beat the play. That was the winning run. You would steal more bases leading off, but they don't run as much with Polanco hitting 2. So you bat seventh with a guy like Victorino, and he can run down there because they kind of forget about you.
Down the left field line, slicing toward the corner. That is a fair ball right off the base of the wall, and it gets right on by Bill Hall. Ibanez stops at second, and he's got a one-out opposite field double. That nearly carried under the yard.
Oh, it's flying here tonight, Tom. In batting practice, it was unbelievable for both teams. You get a hot night in this ballpark, very little wind, and look out, pitchers. They know they have to keep the ball down if possible. And he's swinging a lot better, too. He's driving the ball a little bit better. And that ball jumped off his bat and is fair by a couple feet right off the base of the wall.
So Raul's in scoring position. Here's Victorino back in the number 7 spot. Shane overall hitting .262. 3 hits in his last 16 at-bats on this homestand. And he takes a fastball low, 1-0.
Lackey's first appearance here in this park.
As Wills mentioned, the only other time the Phillies faced Lackey was out in Anaheim. He went 6 1/3, struck out 8 during that time, and the Phillies won the ball game. I should say he won the ball game. He allowed just 1 earned run.
Yeah, 2-1 game. He was a very young pitcher at that time. I think he'd come up in 2002. And that was his second year in the major leagues.
Drafted in the second round in 1999 by the Angels. He's won 106 games during his career, counting the 4 that he's won this year with the Red Sox. And that one misses inside. It's 2-0.
He really likes his curve and slider right now to the left-handed hitters. Not a whole lot of changeups. More curveballs than anything. That looked like a slider. He's a little bit harder.
See Shane's numbers as the leadoff hitter. 27 RBIs in that leadoff spot. He only hit 7 for Charlie the first week of the season, so he wasn't really on the fast track yet. But he's ahead here, 3-0. Carlos Ruiz waits on deck. Breaking ball inside, ball 4, and the Phillies have 2 base runners.
3-0 hook.
So 1 away, 2 on. Carlos Ruiz the batter. And reminder, every time the Phillies retire the opposing team in order, Comcast will make a contribution to Phillies charities. Cole Hamels did that in the top of the 2nd inning. Phillies baseball is brought to you by the Xfinity Triple Play, your complete lineup for digital TV, high-speed internet, and home phone. With one away, here's Carlos Ruiz. Carlos hitting .323. And he takes a pitch inside. It's 1-0. The Phillies have 6 batters in their everyday lineup that are hitting .300 or better. There are only 2 other teams in Major League Baseball that have 6 hitters hitting .300 or better, and they're not all starters. The Cubs and the Rangers. So this team, which has been so offensive under Charlie Manuel in recent years, with Milt Thompson as the hitting coach, they've taken it to a brand new level 2 months into the season.
And Carlos Ruiz is one of those guys who's really improved offensively. Always hit well in the postseason, it seemed like. Not so hot during the year.
1-1 is chopped just foul down the third base side.
Makes a hitting coach's life easier. See Milt Thompson there, because coaches, they don't get credit for anything when it's going well. When it's something's going bad, it's their fault. So they don't really care that much about the credit, but just don't blame them for everything.
Well, I don't know what kind of conversation Milt had with the guys during spring training, but their approach has been amazing this year. The number of pitches that they've taken, and Carlos is one of those guys. And a swing and a miss, and he's down on strikes, 2 away.
Well, Lackey stayed down in the at bat to him, and then elevated, and he chased it.
Well, Cole Hamels has thrown his share of pitches during this game, but so has John Lackey. 16 balls, 17 strikes, and he's gotten 2 batters with just 1 pitch. That was Jimmy Rollins and Jason Worth.
See, he went up top with a 4-seam fastball there. He did that on purpose to see if he would chase, and he did.
Cole Hamels the hitter, and Cole takes a pitch outside. 1-0. Hamels this year is 3 for 18, hitting .167.
That's where the Phillies can get a little bit of an advantage when you play an interleague at home. And as we were talking about, they really haven't taken advantage of that over the years.
Right, because the American League team can't use the DH, and their pitcher has to bat, and the Phillies pitchers have been used to hitting.
Well, and American League teams are constructed to play with a DH. That's just the way they play the game over there.
And most times that DH is the middle of the order guy.
Right. And then you have a hitter in the 9 hole, so the games are just different. You're going to see that here when the Blue Jays come in.
The ball is inside, so it's 2-1 now to Cole.
That would be a different experience.
That's where the Phillies rank as far as their pitchers go. In batting average, 9th in the National League. Well, outside, ball 3.
Yeah, this guy's our best hitting pitcher, Cole Hamels. Well, he's making Lackey work here.
There's Jimmy Rollins hoping for an opportunity with the bases loaded or with somebody in scoring position. On the Toyota Major League scoreboard, the Orioles have taken a 2-0 lead over the Nationals. Adam Jones, a 2-run home run. Nationals, as hot as they were, have lost 6 of 7. Down, right along the knees. A little anticipation on my part. It's 3-2.
Yeah, well, Cedarstrom did that to you. It was a very late strike call. And it's a strike. It looked like it was on the knees, but it was almost like he did the old coin flip on that one.
Now the runners will be off on this pitch to Cole. Ibanez off second, Victorino off first. The pitch swung on, hit foul.
Fans love pitchers at bats in this town.
They just hope that it duplicates what Brett Myers did in the postseason against the Brewers, or what Jamie Moyer did a couple weeks ago against the Mets.
Right, they're just going to show all these American League fans with a DH that you can have excitement when the pitcher hits. And look, at some real good ones here. Those 2 you just mentioned were just amazing. There we go. Listen to the cheer.
And it'll get louder too if he keeps doing it.
That's what I mean. This is one of the few parts in the country where you get these kind of reaction for pitcher at bats.
The other thing too is that this sold-out crowd knows this. The last 2 times that we've seen pitchers have those kind of at bats, it's resulted a little later in a grand slam by Shane Victorino.
Yeah, it'd be tough now.
That's true. Victorino would have come up for a little while.
Yeah, he was sitting a little higher in the order.
3-2, the runners will go. And the pitch to Hamels. Swing and hit in the air toward right field. J.D. Drew venturing back. He has room, and he makes the one-handed grab. So a little excitement off the bat of Cole Hamels. Just didn't carry far enough. Phillies strand 2 here in the second. We head on to the third. Cole Hamels so far has struck out 4 the first 2 innings of work. He's retired 4 in a row since a home run by Victor Martinez. And he'll go to work against the bottom of this Red Sox order. It includes Darnell McDonald, longtime minor league player who's had a few cups of coffee in the big leagues, and he's been playing center field for the injured Jacoby Ellsbury. And Ellsbury is, I should say, he's been playing the outfield for the injured Jacoby Ellsbury and Mike Cameron. And Ellsbury is due to come off the DL this weekend sometime. Cameron had a setback, so McDonald will get a little more playing time. And the count is even, 1 ball and 1 strike. Ellsbury is with the Red Sox, and they expect that he'll be taken off the disabled list before tomorrow's ball game. 2-1 the count to McDonald.
He may have come off tonight if there weren't a left-hander pitching. Cole Hamels coming into this inning. He started with 44 pitches and already 15 foul balls.
You see his ball strike ratio, and he's just 2 pitches away from reaching 50 pitches in this game. Off the end of the bat, that's going to flare into left center for a base hit. So McDonald's aboard with a leadoff single. That's just the second hit for the Red Sox. Well, today's Thirst Inning is brought to you by Budweiser. On a hot night like this, it's nice to have a cool Budweiser in your hand, the official beer of the Thirst Inning.
Now here's John Lackey coming up trying to. Whoop.
Still got the Thirst Inning going on, Wheels.
Forgot about that. Sorry. Don't interrupt the Thirst Inning.
A lot of thirst to be quenched here. Lackey bunts, and the sacrifice is going to be successful. Up to second goes McDonald. One away.
Talking about Lackey because he's 1 for 30 in his career with 1 sack. Now he has 2 sacks. So this is a part of the game that a lot of times plays against the American League when they come here. But in this case, he got the bunt down.
His only career hit was last year when he was with the Angels, and he's being congratulated because I'm sure that was on his mind leading into this game, that he would have to do this.
Well, they practice it a little bit. They've been working on it, with their pitchers, because they know they have to try and help themselves a little bit in these games.
Oh, with 1 out, back to the top of the order. Here's Marco Scudero. Scudero fly to right his first time up, and a fastball taken in. 1-0. See Scudero's numbers with runners in scoring position. Now, overall, in his last 7 games, he's hitting just 194, but it's kind of an odd 194 because he's got a 5-game hitting streak going. So 1 hit here, 1 hit there, and that's it.
This is a guy who thinks he really knows his strike zone. I've seen him play a lot in the American League over the years. He's part of the Billy Bean stuff, or what do you call it, Moneyball.
Moneyball. Yep.
And he looks around at umpires a lot.
On the inside corner, and it's 1-2 to Scudero. That was the cutter from Hamels, which we haven't seen too many of those so far in this ball game. Rich Dubie's had a busy day. Not only did he watch Brad Lidge play catch today, but also Jay Happ was in the bullpen throwing this afternoon for the 2nd time this week. Phillies hope that they are a step closer to getting both of those guys back on the roster. Brian Schneider's out on a rehab assignment tonight in Lehigh Valley.
It's going home for him.
Yep. He'll spend the weekend at home. Mom and Dad leave a whole lot of tickets at the Iron Pigs games. And Ruiz is going to go out to talk to Cole Hamels. With a runner at second base, they're going to discuss the signs that Ruiz is going to lay down. Hey, stay tuned after the ball game for Phillies Post-Game Live. Get your reactions from the players and also expert analysis from Ricky Bottalico as they break it down. Phil's in the Red Sox ball game. That's Phillies Post-Game Live tonight after the game here on Comcast Sportsnet. in the dirt. 2-2 the count to Scudero. That shortstop position that the Red Sox have Scudero playing at now has been a real issue for them since they got rid of Nomar Garcia Parr. Now they've won 2 World Series championships since Nomar left and now is eventually retired. But they have had a revolving door of shortstops since that time, from Orlando Cabrera to Alex Gonzalez to Julio Lugo to Marco Scudero. And Terry Francona knows that every manager probably has one position where it's ever changing, but it's not usually the shortstop position.
You don't want that position. That's a position you want to have some stability.
And it's full 3-2. On the Toyota Major League scoreboard, Braves have taken a 3-0 lead over the Pirates. That is the lone National League game that's going on this weekend. Series.
How about that comeback yesterday?
Yeah.
7 in the 9th for the Braves.
They were down 8-0 overall in that game.
8-0 and 9-3 in the 9th inning. Won 10-9.
Well, now they're taking on a Central team again, which they've had very good success against lately. As Scudero lofts one into shallow left center. Jimmy backing up, and he gets there. Oh, that was into no man's land.
Jimmy was really playing Scudero deep. I guess I noticed, I looked out there one time and he had his feet on the grass. And that can only mean that he felt that the guy doesn't run real well, I guess. So that really helped him get out there and get that ball. Look where he is. He's actually, now he's on the dirt a little bit, but he's back even a little bit further. And now he's got to get out into this area. Luckily, the ball was hit very high. Doesn't look like Shane can get there. And I don't know that Ibanez could have gotten there either, even though he peeled off at the end. That's a fine play by the shortstop. And another out on a 3-2 changeup.
Pedroia swings at the first pitch, and he pops it off the first base line. Howard is over. And he runs out of room. And it's no balls and 1 strike to Pedroia. Pedroia went down on strikes his first time up. One of 4 strikeouts.
This game just an example of how wonderful a sport baseball can be, that all different sizes play it. You've got Dustin Pedroia and Jimmy Rollins in this game, and they're most valuable players in their respective leagues. And they're just little guys. It just shows you, how you can excel like that. You don't have to be a big home run hitter to be the best player in your league necessarily.
Yeah, and Pedroia is probably even smaller than Jimmy is. He puts everything into his swings. Both have turned themselves into very good fielders, although Jimmy always was. Pedroia has turned himself into a good second baseman defensively, too. On a swing and another pop-up, first base side. Howard going over toward the dugout. Will it come back toward him? Nope. Right off the edge of the roof.
Well, Pedroia is an amazing player to watch, because you wouldn't think a guy with that big a swing, especially a little guy with that big a swing, could excel in this game. You think he can have a much shorter stroke, but look at what he has accomplished in his brief major league career.
Well, that year he won the MVP in 08. He had 326, but he had 17 home runs, 83 RBIs, scored 118 runs, and had 213 hits.
And watch his swing, how he winds up with it and takes a huge swing. And he's not a big strikeout guy necessarily.
Well, he's gone down once tonight, and he may have gone down again. He did. Tried to check his swing, but he went around. Good pitching by Cole. He has 5 strikeouts in the ballgame. Strands a runner in scoring position. Last of the third, Jimmy Rollins leads it off, and Jimmy takes a fastball for strike one. Jimmy swung at the first pitch his first time up, and he was retired by Kevin Youkilis over at first. And he's quickly in the hole, 0-2. He thought that pitch was a little low. Red Sox as a team have an ERA of 4.78. They thought that pitching was going to be their foundation this year, but they've had some injuries to deal with. Jimmy lifts it toward left field, backing up on it. Bill Hall, plenty of room. And he does a little Alfonso Soriano hop before he makes that catch. Hey, tickets went on sale earlier today for the series between the Phillies and the Toronto Blue Jays, which will take place Friday, June 25th through Sunday, June 27th. Now, there are still seats available. Boy, they had a busy day down at the ticket office. It's always a busy day down at the ticket office. You can log on to Phillies.com to make your purchase today. There's still plenty of seats available for all three ball games between the Phils and the Blue Jays. Great opportunity to get some great availability because a lot of the weekend games already are gone, where the availability is really low as the season moves on. This ballpark is enjoying one sellout after another. Placido Polanco swings and misses at that slider, and it's 0-2.
It's kind of like Fenway. The Red Sox go through the same thing in a positive way at home, that tickets are tough to get it for their games.
Yeah, the Red Sox currently have the longest streak in Major League history of sellouts going at Fenway. Now, that may end in the near future, but it's the longest streak going. They're one of only 4 professional teams that have sold out 500 or more games consecutively.
Wow. I mean, the Indians sell out.
They were just under 500 at Jacobs Field during their heyday. We said the Phillies have only played the Orioles more times in interleague play. They're 15-22 against the Red Sox and 96-121 overall. Last year, the Red Sox took 2 of 3 from the Phillies.
Yeah, this is just a weekend, of course, of interleague play, and then later on you have more of an extended period.
Polanco lines it down the right field line. J.D. Drew on the run, and he gets there. And there are 2 outs.
You can still move around the outfield. You know, Drew's had knee trouble over the years. Guy's a great athlete, way above average runner. Doesn't run, you know, like he did when he was younger. But he is very, very graceful in that outfield, and he's a plus thrower, too.
So 2 away. Here's Chase Utley. Chase walked his first time up. Among the league leaders in on-base percentage and walks. Got 2 guys who are among the active leaders of being hit by a pitch in Major League Baseball. It's Chase Utley and Kevin Youkilis, the Red Sox first baseman. Both of those guys are just kind of like grinders.
They are grinders. They're dartboards, too. They don't mind getting hit.
That one's line foul down the right field line. And it's 0-2. Way upstairs. 1-2 the count to Utley. Lackey has won 12 games during interleague play with the Angels. A really good ERA, too, of 2.63. One of the oddities about him signing with the Red Sox, and there was no question that he was going for the best deal and for a chance to win, because he left a situation where he had a chance to win every single year out in the American League West. But one of the oddities is that he struggles at Fenway Park, or had struggled at Fenway Park as a member of the Angels. Well, you figure the more he pitches there, the more comfortable he'll get. That one is popped down the left field line. Long run for Bill Hall coming over, and he makes the running grab. So the Phillies go down in order here in the third. 3 straight fly ball outs. We've completed 3. Red Sox lead it by 1. Is waiting for Victor Martinez to saunter to the plate. Interleague play began in 1997 in Major League Baseball. Sarge, your career was over with by then. You played in the American League for a short period of time with the Seattle Mariners. Would you have liked to have had interleague play to maybe get into some of those American League ballparks?
Yeah, definitely. Definitely. To face some of those pitchers, and again, to get in the ballparks.
Martinez homered his first time up, and he's given the Red Sox a 1-0 lead.
I do think, though, it takes a little bit away from being able to, say, for instance, go to San Diego twice and play the Padres or the Dodgers because of the interleague play.
Yeah, the Phillies and every other team around baseball, the Red Sox, they'll play teams within their division a number of different times, 19 or 18 times. But, you know, folks like the Dodgers only see the Fanatic 1 time a year. Everybody wants to see the Fanatic more than 1 time. As Martinez pops up the 1-1 into foul territory. Placido Polanco is over and 1 away.
He came back with another fastball to get him out after he'd hit a home run on a fastball in the first inning. Well, I guess that's their game plan. Fastballs up and in. Take a look at this pitch there, and it does. Actually, that was on the good part of the bat. It just came off of that ball.
Oh, what a way. And that brings Kevin Youkilis to the plate. Youkilis struck out his first time up. And he swings at the first pitch, and Cole is ahead. No balls and 1 strike.
Off to a terrific start. Wouldn't teach any kids to try and emulate that or to hit like that, but when he gets ready to hit and in the zone, he's just like everybody else, conventional. Doesn't matter where you start, just where you finish.
I don't think anybody's ever started that way, though, Sarge. I mean, I remember, you know, Joe Morgan had the pop in his elbow before a pitch came in. Willie Stargell had the loop in his swing before the pitch came in. That one's hit hard toward third, fielded nicely and cleanly by Polanco, 2 away. Felix Millan used to choke up on the bat handle, and it almost looked as if he was hiding his eyes from the pitcher with his front elbow. But that stance by Youkilis is one of the odder ones that you're going to see in baseball.
Yeah, Julio Franco had one that used to be here with the Phillies and also with Cleveland, and pointed his bat almost toward the pitcher, along with Richie Allen. You got to be strong to do that.
Here's J.D. Drew with 2 outs at the top of the 4th. Felix Millan, I don't know if everybody remembers him. You know Joe Morgan because he was a Hall of Famer, but Felix Millan, he played with the Braves, he played with the Mets. I mean, he used to choke up on his on the bat handle. Gosh, it had to be 7 inches, 8 inches. He was a light-hitting infielder, but was a very good fielder.
He would choke up and use a heavy bat, a lot of ounces in his bat. And the reason that he would choke up, that you have a little bit more bat control.
1-1 to count to J.D. Drew. I guess what we're trying to say is that it doesn't matter where you start or how you start. It just matters how you finish.
That's right. And hitting the balls right out in front of the plate with good balance.
2-1 the count to J.D. Drew. Flying to left his first time up, and a good changeup. 2-2.
That's when you know Cole Hamels is at his best. When you see hitters swing and they're off balance. It's a good pitch then by the pitcher. That's a good pitch.
Everybody in the ballpark thought it was, besides the guy behind home plate. You saw the infielders start to head toward the dugout.
I think that's why Cole Hamels is taking a little bit of a stroll.
Opposite way, another foul ball, and it remains 3-2. This is the 5th 3-ball count. 5th full count, I should say, for Cole. Just missed off the outside corner. Drew draws a 2-out walk. And that is the first walk issued by Hamels. And it'll bring Adrian Beltre to the plate. Beltre struck out his first time up. Late on that fastball at 93, and it's 0-1. We've seen that a lot tonight, Sarge. The way Cole has raised the eye level of the hitters, and with the exception of Victor Martinez with his home run, his fastballs range from 91 to 95, and a lot of these guys are late on his fastball.
That's a good fastball at 95, even at 93. And what that does makes that changeup that much better.
Back to the box. Nice play by Hamels. Perfect technique. And he retires Adrian Beltre. So the two dealers. Visit ChevyDealer.com. Ryan Howard starts things off here in the bottom of the fourth. Phillies trail at 1-0. Well, this game has kind of taken on the persona of the last few ball games the Phillies have had against the Pirates and the Cubs. Got a little bit of a pitcher's duel brewing. And Howard lifts it in the air deep to left field. Hall going back to the warning track to the wall. Gone! Opposite field home run for Ryan Howard. His 8th of the year, and the ball game is tied at 1 apiece.
Now, Lackey should be a pretty good pitcher, though, for Ryan Howard. He doesn't have a pitch that can throw him by him, and he tries to rely on off-speed pitches. Ryan's able to stay back. He's so strong, he can use his hands to drive that ball out of the ballpark. Now watch this as he breaking ball, and he just goes the other way. The ball kind of broke into him. Again, doesn't have to hit it hard. Ball's carrying here tonight.
And it makes a winner of Shala Rabar from Philadelphia. She won $100 courtesy of the McDonald's home run jackpot. That gentleman finally came up with the ball as it rolled along the path in front of him. And now it's 2 balls and no strikes to Jason Worth.
One of the things about Lackey, he's going to be around the plate. One of those controlled type pitchers.
He was around the plate on that one on the outside corner, and it's 2-1.
Yeah, Jason kind of bailing at the plate, not having good balance.
A gentleman who caught Ryan Howard's balls and stopped rolling is going to now go up, and he can have it signed by Ryan. Not tonight, but eventually. This program the Phillies have here at the ballpark. You catch one of their home run balls, and you can get it signed. 3-1 pitch to Jason. On the outside corner of the knees.
Now there's that inconsistency there with home plate umpire Gary Cederstrom. Again, if you're going to call the low pitch, you got to continue to call it. And you can see borderline low. I thought that was low.
Breaking ball popped up toward right field. J.D. Drew can't see it. Now he finally finds it, but it's past him. And Jason Worth just keeps on running. Now he's going to have a misplayed double here in the 4th inning.
Well, that's this time of the evening where the ball goes up right away. Second baseman Pedroia did not see the ball as the fans are giving it all to J.D. Drew in right field. Give credit to Jason Worth hitting the ball up. That's one of those plays you don't really want to run, but by running, you can see he doesn't see it at all right now. Either was J.D. Drew. Jason running all the way made an easy double out of it.
Yeah, we saw that shot just before we replayed it of the sky. That's what J.D. Drew is looking into. The lights, the sky, twilight here in Philadelphia. And the Phillies get a break, and they've got a runner in scoring position.
Yeah, the sky is more like gray. He doesn't see it anyway coming in. He tries to get Jason coming in, but Jason running from home plate when he hit the ball, and that's what you're supposed to do.
Ibanez towards center field. And McDonald comes trotting in to make the catch.
I don't think Raul was actually ready on that particular at bat. That was a good pitch to go on and drive. A lot of times hitters want to try and pull the ball, but guys like Raul, if you just make contact, long fly ball, Jason Worth can read it and get over there in the same way. You get the same kind of situation with a runner on third.
Victorino walked his first time up. He's in an RBI spot. And this is some of the stuff that Charlie Manuel talked to him about today. Batting 7th instead of the leadoff spot. He's going to have plenty of opportunities to drive in some runs. I guess you wouldn't always think of the 7 hole as being an RBI hole, but it is because you've got usually the number 5 hitter who's going to be on base. And he's always a good power guy, an extra base guy, and the number 6 hitter as well.
Good point, because of the hitters that you have in front of them are good hitters. So it's not just like your average 7th hitter. And those guys get a lot of walks that hit in front of him. Jason Worth, along with Ryan Howard.
Well, the other part of it too, and Charlie's talked about this with Jason when he had Jason down in the 7th spot last year at times. He loves to have the speed at the number 7 hole.
Yeah, and that sitting in the 7th spot just takes a little bit of pressure off of you. Well, usually the guys that are in that 3-4 spot or 3-4-5 spot are the guys that you count on to drive in your key runs.
One and two the count as Shane pulls that one down the first base line.
And Davey does a smart thing and letting it roll on by. Only bad things can happen to you as a coach trying to catch a ground ball.
Man's got a piece of equipment in his hand too.
He has a bare hand over there. He has a hand that's open.
Victorino toward left center field. That's going to be in for a base hit, and he's going to get an RBI. Worth scores easily from second. Phillies take a 2-1 lead. It's all because J.D. Drew couldn't see Jason Worth's pop-up, played it into a double, and it gives the Phillies a little extra offensive life.
Victorino not over swinging on that, just driving that ball into right center, the left center there, I should say. See that? Not over swinging, just trying to meet the ball, and this is what you want to do on this type of pitching.
Carlos struck out his first time up. He went after a high fastball. The Phillies are really making Lackey work. And this is the other part of the equation. Shane is at first. May have a chance to swipe a bag and get into scoring position for Ruiz before the pitchers do up.
Which is very important. If he gets a jump, he will go.
Breaking ball on the outside corner. 1 ball, 1 strike the count.
Hey, Lackey not afraid to throw that breaking ball anytime. Has a lot of confidence in it. Little slider. Good pitch to run on. Any off-speed pitch for a base stealer. Like he was leaning just a little bit toward second base.
See Lackey 9 double play ground outs. Nate Blackburn and Andy Pettit are among the leaders. He kind of surprised Shane with that toss over to first. Now you have to be a little extra cautious here if you're Victorino, because you've got Ruiz up and the pitcher on deck. You don't want to have a strikeout throw out double play.
No, you don't want to have that. But if he goes, he should be able to have a pretty good jump to steal that bag.
He does go, and the pitch is fouled back. He did get a really good jump.
Yeah. Pretty deliberate in coming home, Lackey is, meaning that he probably right around 1-3, 1-4. Now watch the jump that he goes. He's off and running to the races. Carlos can't afford to take that pitch, however, because it's just too close and he has 2 strikes on it.
Victorino doesn't go, and Ruiz loops it foul over the Phillies dugout. Carlos talking to him today. I said, how you feeling after getting hit by a pitch the other day? I thought he got hit in the ribs the other day, Sarge. Well, then he rolled up his sleeve, his left sleeve where that 51 is. That's where he got hit, and he has a huge black and blue on that arm.
Oh, boy. Good job by Carlos in stepping out. That's what the pitcher Lackey will do, hold the ball in order for Victorino not to get a good jump. It's up to that batter to step out and call timeout.
Martinez blocks it, and it's 2-2. Here's that hit by pitch we're talking about.
See that ball running in on him. There's nowhere to go. You know when that ball and you see it in that area that you're going to get hit, and you're just hoping that it's in a soft place or a good place. Really, there's no good place to get hit, but it does stink.
And a swing and a miss, and Ruiz is down on strikes for the second time. First time he went after a high fastball. That time he goes after a breaking ball. So 2 outs here in the 4th inning. Hey, the Phillies will honor selected high school sophomores, juniors, and seniors as Extraordinary Scholars of the Month. And this is in conjunction with Cabrini College and Southwest Airlines. If you want more information, you can log on to Phillies.com/scholar. See the requirements: B average or a 3.0 GPA. Submit a 500-word or less essay discussing the positive impact to the community. Well, that's positive right there by Cole Hamels, an opposite field single. And the Phillies have 2 runners aboard.
Well, Cole swinging pretty good off of Lackey. Actually hit a line drive the first time up, working the count to 3-2. That ball just a line drive, just a solid swing, going right through the ball there. Now check this swing out. This is a good swing as he keeps his head down on the ball. Good swing. Hitting against the front foot.
Now Jimmy, who's 0 for 2. Rounded out to first. He's flying out to left. In the dirt. For John Lackey, we've seen him from a distance over the years. I don't remember him having this many problems with his control.
Well, going deep into counts. 78 pitches here so far. They're split on it. 47 strikes. 31 balls.
Jimmy tried to hold, but he went around. And it's 1 ball and 1 strike.
Pretty good pitch by Lackey. There's that hard slider that I'm talking about where you can get hitters to check swing on it. Looks like a fastball coming in. Last minute it darts in by your hand or that back foot.
Jimmy is on the doorstep of a number of individual milestones, including 150 home runs. He needs 2. Triples, he needs 4 to reach 100. He needs 44 runs to reach 1,000 for his career. Victorino goes. The pitch is low. The throw is late. And Shane has a stolen base. Hamels did not follow him. That's the 8th stolen base of the year for Victorino.
Pitchers don't want to go on that, and Victorino running with 2 outs. You better make sure that you made an excellent jump, however. No chance as he gets down. He's reading it all the way. Running start. He's looking all the way. Knows he has it with no problem. There it is again. See a little stand-up slide.
In the dirt, 3-2.
So Hamels needs to make sure that he throws the ball. Don't want him to fake the third and then come off and pick you up.
Polanco waits on deck. Phillies have scored 2 runs in the inning. A home run by Ryan Howard, an RBI single by Victorino. And they are making Lackey work. Victorino's on third. Hamels is on first. And a breaking ball outside, ball 4, and the bases are loaded. And John Farrell's coming out to the mound to talk to John Lackey. Meanwhile, Terry Francona is going to the phone. Now the Red Sox are going to get somebody up and loosening. 83 pitches for Lackey. We're only in the 4th inning. And Joe Nelson, the former Marlin, is going to start throwing in the pen. mentioned the Red Sox came in with an earned run average as a team of 4.78. Lackey's at 4.86. John Lester's been their best pitcher. Josh Beckett, he struggled this year. He's on the disabled list. He was supposed to start Sunday. You saw the number of pitches that Lackey has thrown in this inning, and the Phillies are really doing a nice job against him this inning. They've got the bases loaded with 2 outs. They've got Victorino over at third, Cole Hamels at second base, and Jimmy Rollins at first. And Placido Polanco 0 for 2 tonight, standing in. And Polanco swings at the first pitch, and it's 0-1.
There's that breaking ball again, and he will throw it in any count. One of those pitches that you want to make sure that that ball is up in the zone.
Let's watch this team struggle out of the gate offensively and even with their pitching. Well, things had started to turn around after the last couple ball games, even with all the injuries that he's had to go through, and every manager has. It's 1 ball and 1 strike to Polanco. Inside corner with a fastball, and it's 1-2. There's Mike Lowell, who is one of the veteran players who isn't playing as much now as his skills have somewhat diminished. David Ortiz had a very good month in May. See Lowell's numbers against the Phillies, 26 home runs. It's 4th most among active players against the Phillies. A roller towards shortstop, cut off by Beltre. He misses Hamels and throws out Polanco. So the Phils strand the bases loaded here in the 4th inning, but they get a couple runs and a home run by Ryan Howard. An RBI. McDonald, and probably a pinch hitter for John Lackey, although we'll see. Bullpen is sat down for the Red Sox. Hall has struck out tonight. 0 for 1.
Yeah, another unorthodox type of stance where Bill Hall has an open stance. And not only is it open, he leans back. Well, therefore, if you get him on the high fastballs to get ahead of him, you can get him on high fastballs. There you go.
George Brett used to lean all the way back, and a lot of folks said that was the Charlie Lau, who was a longtime hitting coach in Major League Baseball for the White Sox. That was his style, to lean all the way back.
I think, though, Brett was a little bit closer to the plate and far more talent than Bill Hall.
Think so? Fastball in tight. It's 2 balls and 1 strike to Hall.
Oh, that's a pretty good pitch. Don't want to try and get it down much lower than that.
Broke his bat towards shortstop. Jimmy surrounds it. Long throw and plenty of time to get Hall. Talk about the techniques of a shortstop. Sometimes they'll backhand it. Sometimes they'll get in front of it. It all depends on how confident they are with their arm and who the guy is that's running.
And usually, that's right. The shortstop's going to know who's running, know if he has to get rid of the ball quickly. He sets himself. He has such a strong arm and doesn't even have to wind up. Pretty accurate with that arm, too.
Number 8 batter is Darnell McDonald. And he whacks one foul right past Tim Bogar in the third base coach's box. Red Sox have had some changes to their coaching staff over the last year. Tim Bogar was the first base coach a season ago, and he's moved over to third base. DeMarlo Hale was the third base coach. He's now the bench coach for Terry Francona. There's Tim Bogar.
Yeah, a little safer spot in that dugout. Don't have balls whizzing by your head. One of the reasons that they're wearing those helmets.
There's Ron Johnson, who was the first manager in Wilmington Blue Rocks, the second edition's history, back in 1993.
Wow.
He was with the Kansas City Royals at that time. That was a good guy right there, Sarge.
He likes those seeds and got a little bit of a Billy Goat mustache going on there.
1-2 pitch to McDonald. Oh boy.
See, there again is the consistency what I'm talking about. If you're going to call the low fastball, you call it, and he hasn't been giving it to Cole Hamels, although Lackey has been getting that pitch. That more than anything will discourage a pitcher, that you know that you hit the spots and you're not able to get the call on it.
And he got him. This time a changeup. He gets McDonald swinging. 6 strikeout for Cole. And John Lackey is going to bat here in the 5th inning.
Yeah, good movement on that changeup by Cole Hamels. Had it in a good spot. Ball probably moved away from him. You can see the grip on it. See how that ball's moving back toward the outside part of the plate? That's after setting him up with a fastball in.
Bet you John Lackey has just 1 hit as a big league batter. He is 1 for 30. His 1 hit came last year. And it's 1 ball and 1 strike to him. Here's David Ortiz, not in the lineup today. Might play one of the next 2 games for the Red Sox over at first base. There's a chopper toward third. Easy play for Polanco. He can run it over the bag himself as he throws out Lackey. And it's a 1-2-3 inning for Cole Hamels. It's his second one of the ball game. That's Sportsnet. Did you get a chance to know Doug Collins when he was the coach of the Chicago Bulls?
Know Doug very well. Surprised he actually left the booth to come down to all that fire, all those young guys. Be interesting to see how he relates to them.
Well, he's going to dive headlong into a sea of Phillies fans we just saw, and the Phillies lead this one 2-1. Well, you know how it is, Sarge. I mean, sometimes when you're a coach, I know you have felt this way before, maybe not now, but being part of the game, it's kind of like a narcotic. It's difficult to get out of your system.
Yeah, it is, but it's a lot better, believe me, when you're up in that booth as down there trying to get those guys to pass that ball. Good luck, Doug.
Well, there's no doubt that Doug Collins has been a good NBA coach during his career, and he'll get another chance to try to resurrect the Sixers. And there's no question the Sixers have some talent, so we'll see what Doug can do. I mean, he was Michael Jordan's first coach in the NBA.
Well, let me tell you, he might want to give Michael a call and see if he can get him back here. He's going to have some problems there with those 76ers. But again, good luck to him. And if anybody can turn it around, I'm sure that he can. So we'll see what happens. He's got his work cut out for him.
Well, the Phillies lead it here 2-1 in the bottom of the 5th inning, as Ryan Howard will stand in after Chase Utley grounded out for the first out. Howard got the Phillies on the board in the 4th with an opposite field home run. To an 0 the count to Howard.
Now watch this ball that he hits there in the 4th inning. See that ball up in the zone as it comes down just a little bit, belt high. And that's basically where you want to try and look to hit Lackey. Get that ball up a little bit. A little easier to hit.
That one came right back into the zone. Ryan just missed it. He was over top of it. It's 2-1.
Good breaking ball. Good hard spin on that ball, but it is a hittable pitch when you get it up that high. Give that advantage there to Lackey. He'll probably try and throw one a little bit lower.
Instead, he comes back with a fastball and misses his spot with it. Victor Martinez was set up inside. It's the 7-3 ball count now for Lackey. 3-1 the count to Ryan Howard. Sarge, what does Ryan's .306 batting average tell you about the way he's swinging right now? Do we look too much into it sometimes?
You know what? He's still not hot for me yet. I mean, he has been a lot easier to start from there where he is, .306, and really get hot. We've seen him do that before, swinging that bat.
Well, he takes the ball up high, so he's aboard with a 1-out walk.
No, and he could do that a little bit more. Just go on and take his pitches. That's Charlie's demonstrating on exactly how to hit. You see that motion that he's doing. He's loading up and going right through the ball, meaning probably telling him to stay on it.
That man is comfortable in a lot of surroundings, but he is never more comfortable than when he wants to talk about hitting.
Oh, yeah. You have that bat in his hands. He can talk about that as well as he can making some of that pasta sauce that he does.
Here's Jason Worth with 1 out, the runner at first. Jason hits one in the air, deep to left field. If it's fair, it's long gone. Guess what? Long gone into the second deck. A 2-run mammoth home run by Jason Worth, and the Phillies lead 4-1. Wow!
It's kind of the way that Charlie was demonstrating to go through that ball. Again, Jason is good balance. The way that he is up at the plate, very difficult hitter. He's made himself into such a great power hitter, and mainly because the guy's been healthy. I mean, you're not going to hit a ball much further than where Jason hit that ball there, and as he hit it, kind of took a look at it for a bit.
Right-handed hitter, when you pull a ball like this, you're just hoping it stays fair. That was fair by plenty.
Well, you listen to the sound of that, you know it's getting ready to go long distance.
That one's hit hard, backhanded by Scudero on one hop, and Raul nearly beat that out.
Take a look here at the home run. That fastball moves right back into his swing as he takes a look at it. What a great feeling, though, when you hit a ball like that. I mean, you don't even feel it coming off of the bat. You only hear a loud sound, and you know one thing, though, you're getting ready to go around the bases slow.
Here's Victorino. There haven't been too many baseballs hit up in that second deck, just in front of Harry the Case. And we've seen a ton of them hit during batting practice, but there, I mean, that's a distance right there.
That's a poke.
Yeah.
Well, you wait him out, he'll give you a good pitch because he is around the plate. A lot of times, though, for Lackey, hitters will get themselves out, as you see that 99th pitch, because they're swinging at bad pitches.
He lays a breaking ball in there for a strike. It's 2-1. Victorino, an RBI single his last time up. He's also walked. And he takes one in his kitchen, and it's 3-1.
That ball that Jason hit, that gets out of any ballpark in the league.
And way over the Green Monster in Boston. Chopper toward first, foul ball, and it's 3-2 to Victorino. On the Toyota Major League scoreboard, the White Sox are shutting out the Marlins 2-0. Ramirez a 2-run double in the bottom of the third. Every time I see Ramirez when the Marlins pop up, I'm always thinking Hanley Ramirez because he's been pretty hot since coming back off of his benching by Freddie Gonzalez. The White Sox are trying to cool off those Marlins.
Well, Freddie will get a lot of respect from the rest of the team there and treating Hanley Ramirez the way that he did and taking him out for not hustling. Never seen a player kick a ball and then say to yourself, hey, well, I'll get there when I can.
Victorino tries to hold his swing. They appeal. No swings. He's the third base umpire, Marty Foster. So Victorino walks for the second time. And Ramirez that had that 2-run double for the White Sox. So let's say Ramirez. Carlos has struck out twice tonight. Out. The Red Sox think Victorino's going to go, and I kind of think he's going to go at some point. Wouldn't you, Sarge?
Well, again, he does have the time that Davey Lopes gives him. Pitchers 1, 2 to the plate. You have a difficult time in running, but 1-3, 1-4, and I'm sure that's where Lackey is. You get a jump, you should be able to make it there no problem. As Carlos takes a hanger.
Step. That one's popped up. Left field, not deep. Bill Hall coming in. He's waiting for it, and he makes the catch. The Phillies, though, tack on 2 more. A long 2-run home run by Jason Worth. Phillies also get an extra base runner with a second walk by Lackey. And they lead it 4-1 as we go to the reaction from the crowd as he goes out to right field. They start to stand in foul territory, and then look, one by one they come to their feet to praise him for that long home run.
Yeah, well, he has absolutely become a fan favorite, and especially the fans there in right field appreciate his play on a nightly basis.
Well, he did tip his cap before he started loosening up his arm. We go to the top of the sixth. Phillies lead it 4-1. And at the top of the order, Marcos Scudero leads it off for the Red Sox. Scudero's 0 for 2. He's popped out twice. Once to right, once to shortstop. Hamels commit to play tonight with 29 wins here at Citizens Bank Park. 29 of his 52, which is the most among Phillies pitchers. Obviously, this ballpark is not that old. Cole has been around it for most of his, or all of his professional career. With a fastball for a strike, it's 1-2. Kind of get the feeling at the youthful age that he is that he's going to be hard pressed to not have the most wins here at Citizens Bank Park by the time his career comes to a close. On the inside corner, called strike 3. That is a dandy of a changeup right there by Hamels.
Boy, it sure is. And you get him in there, most hitters think that's a fastball that's coming in on the outside part of the plate. A lot of confidence with Cole Hamels. He throws that pitch in there for a called strike 3. So Youth was asking him, what was that?
They'll bring Dustin Pedroia to the plate, and he swings at the first pitch and fouls it off. Now, Pedroia has already struck out twice tonight. I mean, it's an oddity to see him strike out more than one time in a game. It's only the third time this year that Terry Francona has witnessed him striking out more than one time in a game, but it's the second time this week. He's a guy that puts the ball in play.
Yeah, not a very tall player at all, but plays just about as big as anybody on the team, and in terms of clutch hits. Postseason, World Series.
Line drive caught by Polanco.
Cole doing a good job so far, having those shutdown innings. That's what you got to have. A little luck you need too as a line drive goes right to Polanco. There it is again, soft hand. That's kind of why they call that the hot corner. The ball gets on you so quick.
Victor Martinez, the hitter. He homered his first time up. And he takes an off-speed pitch for strike 1.
Now watch where this fastball is there. That's out over the plate. Thought that was a fastball in any direction. If it was his changeup, that ball was up. Not much movement on it. When he gets movement and drifts the other way, look out.
Only run of the night for the Red Sox, and he gets Martinez to pop it up to left this time. Ibanez is under it, and how about the job Cole Hamels has done? He's retired 7 consecutive batters. He's only allowed 2 hits, and as he goes back to the dugout, he's got a 4-1 lead. 1997, it was the Giants and the Texas Rangers. And up until that point, they had played the American League West against the National League West, the American League Central against the National League Central, and the American League East against the National League East. That all changed in 2002. Joe Nelson, who is the new pitcher for the Red Sox, he wasn't in the majors at the time. And he'll begin the bottom of the 6th against Cole Hamels as he takes over for John Mike. And Cole has a base hit tonight and 2 at-bats. See Nelson's career pitching numbers: 7 wins, 2 losses, 13 saves, and a 4.07 earned run average. One the count to Hamels. So Sarge, there's been an evolution for interleague play, and I think it's good that it started out just division against division with some natural rivalries, and now they've kind of spread it out a little bit.
Yeah, well, for the fans' sake, they got to really love it because they get a chance to see a lot of the other players.
This year, the Phillies will not only play the teams within the American League East like the Red Sox and the Blue Jays and the Yankees, but they'll also face Charlie Manuel's old team, the Cleveland Indians.
Hey, depending on how well you do, you get some extra votes from some teams for the All-Star. Well, surely.
You could. Hamels is down on strike, so 1 away here in the 6th inning.
A good example would be Chase Utley.
Absolutely. Shane Victorino. Hey, Coors Light Freeze Can. Let's take a look at these homers tonight. Look where that ball is on the barrel of Ryan Howard's bat.
Right on the sweet part of the bat. That ball comes right back in. Look at that with Jason Word. That's what you call serious extension. Wow.
In and out of the second deck on Coors Light Freeze Can. And with 1 away, Jimmy Rollins is now the hitter. And Jimmy pulls it through the hole on the right side, a base hit.
Well, it looked like he might have hurt his leg or something on that ball when he hit it. He got there. It's kind of slowed down a little bit.
Yeah, they're looking over to the dugout. Yep, they're asking for somebody to come in and pitch run for Jimmy. Oh, boy.
Watch this time. When he comes out of there, notice that right away. See how he takes off? And like something just kind of grabbed it, and he felt it as he just trucks right on in to first base. Hope it is not the same injury again.
Mark Anderson, the Phillies athletic trainer, walks out. Charlie Manuel joins him. They point toward Juan Castro, and Castro is going to pinch run for Jimmy.
Just a frustration look that's on his face. A lot of times, if you have that kind of injury, players will know, and especially if it's the same thing. Doobie pats him on the back. You know what an effort that J-Ro gives you during the times when he's there. Here it is. Good fastball. Turns on it. He drives the ball, so he wasn't really taking off fast. It just grabbed him. Wasn't one of those plays, ground ball, where it was bang, bang, and maybe he was stretching to try and get a base hit.
So Polanco bats with Castro at first.
Not a player you want to lose with interleague play getting ready to start here tonight.
Polanco 0 for 3. And it's 1 ball and 1 strike. Castro, who's celebrating the anniversary of his first major league home run today, takes his lead off first. There's a ball lifted toward left, not deep. Bill Hall doesn't move too far to make that catch. 2 outs. Castro's first major league home run came in 1998. For Charlie Manuel, depending on how Jimmy feels, Juan Castro's going to get some more playing time. That's a shame because Jimmy worked so hard to get himself healthy again. But as Sarge said, that's the kind of injury that'll bang.
Well, you know, anytime you have those leg injuries, I mean, that's a big part of J-Ro's legs because he's in a position at shortstop going from left to right. Then he has a game where he runs offensively.
Chase tonight is 0 for 2 with a walk. He walked his first time up. Line to left, grounded back to the box. Toward right field, J.D. Drew on the run. He's going to play it on one hop. Castro holds up at second. And the Phillies have 2 aboard with 2 outs. Third hit of the series, or the homestand, I should say, for Chase. And it gives Ryan Howard a chance to bat with 2 runners on.
Well, this guy just keeps battling and battling, getting those hits. That's how you hit 300. Well, you're not swinging that bat well, being able to get walks, taking that pitcher in the deep counts. Chase has been doing that just about all year.
So 2 on, 2 outs here in the bottom of the 6th. Ryan Howard, a home run, a walk, 2 runs scored. He's also struck out tonight. And he takes a fastball low. It's 1-0. Nobody even near Castro and Utley, as you saw, with the shift on with Ryan Howard at the plate. So Pedroia out in shallow right field. On the inside corner with an 89-mile-an-hour fastball that may have crossed up Victor Martinez, and it's 2-1.
See where this pitch is. It crossed him up there, and that ball's coming back. Looks like maybe he was anticipating maybe something soft, got something hard. Let me go out and talk about it.
Victor Martinez probably saying, "Hey, listen, we don't throw him any fastballs in there. I mean, it's usually soft away, soft away."
Especially in that area.
There's another fastball on the outside corner in a different area, and it's 2-2. Opposite way, base hit it to left field. Castro's around third, heading for home. Here's Hall's throw on one hop, not in time. To the backside of the plate, another RBI for Howard, and the Phillies lead it 5-1.
Pretty good slide, too, coming in by Castro. Good throw by Bill Hall in left field. Bang, bang at the plate. He gets under that tag. Here it is again there. Base hit opposite way. Ryan Howard taking what he gives him as over-the-top throw from Bill Hall. Pretty good throw. As you can see, it's on the other side. Here comes Castro as he slides back to the other side. Howard saying save. Yes! As he gets in, another RBI. We call those stakes, by the way.
So he has 32 stakes this year.
That's right.
Here's Jason Worth, who had a long 426-foot home run his last time up. Into a spot where not many have been hit in this ballpark. And he takes a pitch for a strike. It's 0-1.
Can't believe he took that pitch where he did, right almost down the middle. A lot of times, hitters, when they haven't seen a particular pitcher, they want to see the ball or see the movement.
It's that one hard toward third. Backhanded by Beltre, and he beats Chase to the bag. The Phillies, though, get another run on an RBI single by the big man, Ryan Howard. They strand 2. We go to the 7th. Kevin Youkilis leads it off for the Red Sox. Cole Hamels has retired 7 straight. Youkilis grounded out to third. He is struck out. Cole is over 100 pitches for the night, but he's looked very comfortable the last couple of innings. While the Phillies offense has given him a lead.
He's throwing a lot of strikes to a team that takes a lot of pitches.
There is a strike to make it 2-1.
Yeah, Youkilis will be one of those guys right now. They'll be up there just trying to get on base because they need runs.
Drive towards center field. Oh, wicked movement right out to Victorino. 1 out here in the 7th inning.
It's time for our Verizon Wireless game summary. Home run by Martinez right there in the 1st inning, his 6th of the year, and that gave Boston a quick 1-0 lead. But as Tommy mentioned, they've really Cole Hamels really settled down. It's pitched great after that. Only 1 hit since, and then the offense has picked it up. Ryan Howard with his home run to left. Jason Worth is one of those ones you're honored to have been here to see it.
Really impressive.
That was a long one. And then there he is. That thing went into the upper deck in left field, and I was sitting out there, without the headset, and you could really, what a sound that made. Oh my goodness. That was loud.
And it was hit so hard that there was no chance of it hooking anywhere near the pole.
Oh, he just crushed it. And Ryan Howard added another RBI hit. Single to left.
See that golf sign there? It went into the first row about 10 or 11 feet from the area. Right there. Then it dropped down to the lower level.
Yep.
I remember back at the vet. Oh, let's listen first. Heads turned. If you weren't looking at the field, heads turned as that ball hit that bat.
It was a different sound. That was a big-time home run sound.
0-2 to Drew. Down and away, 1-2. I was about to say that I remember a home run that Pete Incaviglia hit at the vet back in, it was maybe 92, 93, into the upper deck of the vet. I mean, it was one of the longest balls I've ever seen hit.
Well, Greg Luzinski used to hit a lot of them up there. In fact, they had the bullseyes on the seats there at Veterans Stadium in the upper deck. And they had some S's up there for Mike Schmidt. Now, Mike Schmidt, he didn't hit as many up there because he didn't hit those real high, long home runs that Bull hit. Michael would hit more line drive homers.
The 1-2 pitch to Drew. Swing and a miss and a changeup. Boy, was that a nasty one. 8 strikeouts for Hamels. 2 gone here in the 7th.
I talked to when I was over here early and said I didn't know what was going to happen to Cole Hamels tonight. But one thing that was obvious from the 1st inning, as you see the changeup grip, is he had great stuff. He came out with a tremendous fastball tonight that he was locating well. And you just figured, even though this team kills left-handers, you thought he's going to have a good night unless something really goes wrong. And he just kept it up.
Oh, and he's thrown everything tonight. He's thrown fastball and change, obviously, but he's also thrown his curve. He's thrown his cutter.
And his fastball, like any big league pitcher, that sets up your night.
That one's hit hard toward third. It's a fair ball right over the bag under Polanco's glove. And I believe a fan may have interfered. Beltre was going to get to second anyway. And there's the signal from Marty Foster. That gentleman right there in the green shirt touched it but didn't get it. Well, these lucky fans are tonight's Citizens 7. They will each receive a prize pack courtesy of Citizens Bank. Citizens Bank with the most 7-day branches in the Philadelphia area. To find a branch near you, visit citizensbank.com. Two-out double for Beltre. That's his 12th double of the year.
That's a big spot in the game now for Hamels. Well as he's pitching and as potent as this lineup is for the Red Sox, the Phillies are going to get activity in the bullpen. You do not want to give up a 2-out run here at the bottom of the order.
Chad Durbin was up and loosening in the pen. Antonio Bastardo is going to start loosening as well. And Ruiz is going to go out to the mound.
Yeah, that was I don't like what we were going with right there. I'm going to just look towards second. Let's talk about it.
Bastardo just started throwing. Red Sox do have some guns off the bench. They've got David Ortiz, Mike Lowell. Lowell's a .500 pinch hitter this year. And a fastball high, 1-0 to Hall.
Yeah, and you're really thinking about Big Papi, and that's why you're getting the left-hander up out there. David Ortiz has been swinging the bat a lot better lately, and there he is.
.417 hitter the last 10 games for David Ortiz. See what Hall has done this evening. Just 2 at-bats. This is his 3rd. The strikeout in the 2nd and the grounded to shortstop in the 5th. Pop-up. Foul territory. Slicing over toward the dugout on a play. Toward right field, plenty of room for Jason Worth. Not that deep over toward the line. He's under it. What a job by Cole Hamels tonight. He's allowed just 3 hits through 7 innings.
That's a good start sometimes.
It is a very good start.
And also, because this guy that I'm going to guess is going to go in the Hall of Fame this year, Jim Rice.
You are going down the right path, Wheels. You are correct. 1978, that's when Jim Rice did all that. That guy had a heck of a career.
Oh. You know, they've been playing video here on the board during this homestand. And, you know, we didn't get to see him. You know, you didn't have all the coverage you have now. The guy in the American League, you didn't really get to see great players like that during the highlight of their career. I didn't realize what a short stroke he had. It was like Greg Luzinski a little bit. You know, Bull had that real short stroke and generated all that power. And watching Rice in that video, man, he was really short and quick with his stroke.
Well, they had a number of really good hitters over the years, particularly back in time that Jim Rice played. Carl Yastrzemski, of course. Dwight Evans, Fred Lynn. Ibanez skies one to begin the bottom of the 7th inning. Bill Hall waits, and Nelson's got the first out.
Well, that video is talking about Fred Lynn is in a lot of the same video, and he's talking about Jim Rice and how he deserves to be in the Hall of Fame, what a great teammate he was and all. Fred Lynn was a great outfielder too, so graceful in the outfield. He could cover a lot of ground, was a heck of a hitter too. Those two guys came along at the same time, and well, you talk about left-right combination. They were tremendous.
Yeah, Fred Lynn, the first player in Major League history, hit a grand slam in an All-Star game at Comiskey Park. Well, if you knew Jim Rice was the answer, log back on to Phillies.com to find out if you're the winner of a Phillies prize pack. And thanks for playing. Dodge Stump the Fans. Here's Shane Victorino with one out. Shane has been on base 3 times tonight.
Cole Hamels, we feel, figures out of the game right now. The bullpen's still going, and what a job he did tonight. So good we can use his stat now. 7 of the last 9 left-handers to start against the Red Sox were out of the game before the end of the 5th inning.
Right.
And had a 6.63 earned run average. Wasn't going to use that till he was gone. Or the game was over. But Cole, what a tremendous job he did against that lineup tonight.
Victorino pulls it to the right side, sliding and knocking it down, but not able to find it is Pedroia. Then he does find it. And he finds the bag in time to get Victorino, who is not happy about it, nor is Davey Lopes.
Here comes Chuck.
Davey doesn't generally say too much either, but he went right over to Ed Hickox and said something.
It's almost like Davey was pointing at the bag, like he wasn't on the bat. Yeah. Oh, they love Charlie.
These fans, they love it.
Ah, that's great. Well, let's see what we can see on the replay. Pedroia goes sliding for that one. Now he's in trouble. Oh, he was off the bag because watch Youkilis go back for it. He's off right there. Then he comes down, but at the very end of the replay,
he was searching.
He's searching for it, and that's a dead giveaway that he's off the bag because he knew he was off the bag. Watch at the very end. Doesn't he start to put his foot back?
Yeah.
See, he jumps. No, got to keep it going from there. Down. Well, that other angle was hard to tell. But when a player goes back that way, he's telling you that he's off the bag. And that also will get the first base coach and the guy who hit the ball, if they see that, saying he's off.
1-1 the count's Carlos Ruiz. And Carlos lifts it towards center. And McDonald makes the catch. So the Phillies go down in order here in the 7th inning. Phillies haven't gone down in order too much tonight. It's only the 2nd time we go to the 8th. Look at that. A little hop in her step. Waves goodbye. Hug from Dad. And then one more wave. And many more smiles. Now this sold-out crowd, more than 45,000. Watched a heck of an outing by Cole Hamels tonight. Talked about hockey during the outset of the telecast. And the city of Philadelphia certainly had the city of Boston's number when it came to the playoffs in the NHL. And they're hoping for a carryover here in this weekend series against the Sox. Good start tonight. Cole Hamels went 7 innings, allowed just 3 hits, struck out 8. And David Herndon is the new pitcher, and he's on facing Darnell McDonald.
Quite a spot to put David Herndon in here in the 8th inning. Now they do have Durbin and Romero up.
Red Sox have Mike Lowell in the on-deck circle to pinch hit. And a good sinker, and it's 2-1.
See David Herndon's numbers there, and he's given up a lot of hits. There's Mike Lowell, who he's been scuffling.
Pop-up, shallow right field. Jason Worth makes the catch. 1 away.
Well, Cole Hamels was just tremendous against these Boston Red Sox tonight. And he gave up the home run to Victor Martinez in the first inning. He just had everything going. He had 2 strikeouts on 3-2 changeup. There's a high fastball. Pedroia couldn't hold up. Another changeup there. He also got another out on a 3-2 changeup. So even though his pitch count got kind of high early, he really settled in. And he threw enough strikes that they couldn't stand up there and keep taking pitches, and they weren't fouling balls off the way they were early.
So Mike Lowell pinch hitting here. Lowell 15 for 62 overall, a 242 batting average. He is a 500 hitter this year as a pinch hitter. And he hasn't gotten a whole lot of playing time. He did play a little bit when David Ortiz was struggling through the first month of the season.
Well, you just watch his swing. You know, he's had a lot of problems with his hip and legs and everything, and he doesn't look like the same guy. We'll watch him on TV a little bit, and you know, and he really has trouble running. This guy was some kind of dangerous hitter at one time. Still is at times, they say, but you know, not to say this. He hit 3 home runs in his ballpark one night when he was with the Florida Marlins.
Well, he has 26 career home runs against the Phillies, which is 4th most among active players. 1-2 pitch to him. Swing, miss. He was trying to hold his swing on that sinker, but just couldn't do it. David Herndon's got the first 2 batters out here in the 8th inning. Mike Lowell's former team, the Florida Marlins, they'll be here beginning Tuesday, June 8th at 7:05 to kick off a 3-game series. You get your tickets for all 3 of those ball games by logging on to Phillies.com. Phillies come into this game 4 games ahead of the Marlins in the division, 4.5 ahead of the Braves. Braves are whitewashing the Pirates right now in Pittsburgh. The Marlins are losing to the White Sox.
Talking about Hamels, what a great job he did. The first 4 innings, there were 24 foul balls. 24. In the last 3 innings, 6. And that's another reason why he really cut down his pitch count.
2-0 the count to Marco Scutaro.
Is there a reason for that? I don't know.
Well, I thought as the game moved on that he threw more changeups, and they were really effective changeups too.
Yeah, well, he did. He had a good changeup, and as you said, he threw his cutter, threw some curveballs, and he mixed in there. And his fastball was up and down and out of the middle of the plate, except maybe for Victor Martinez in the first inning. And he continues to improve as the season goes along, and it's really a good sign for this rotation.
2 balls, 1 strike to count to Marco Scutaro. Opposite way, Jason Worth over toward his left, makes the running grab. Oh, nice outing by David Herndon. He retires the Red Sox in order. 1, 2, 3 here at the top of the 8th. We head on to the bottom of the 8th with the Phillies leading it by 4. right here on Comcast Sportsnet. We'll all be there for the Phillies Festival. It's always a great night. Every roll's a winner is where Wheels is going to be. He'll be there counting the dice for you, giving out some prizes.
Every roll's a winner, Tom. That's just what it says, just what it means.
Well, that gentleman is probably happy the way the Eastern Conference Finals are going, but not the way this night is going for the Red Sox. Phillies lead it 5-1 as we go to the bottom of the 8th inning. It's been a really good night for everybody around. Cole Hamels, 7 strong innings. Middle of the order has provided some pop, and now Greg Dobbs will lead things off against Manny Del Carmen, the new pitcher for the Red Sox. He'll take over for Joe Nelson.
Thinking about Herndon when he came in the game, you and I were talking between innings what the reason could have been why, other than you wanting to use a right-hander there and use Herndon in that spot, that maybe Contreras isn't available tonight. Well, it appears that's what it is, because Baez is up and throwing in the bullpen. Even though it's not a save situation, in this ballpark, as you look at Manny Del Carmen's really good numbers, 4 runs is like a save situation, even though it doesn't go into the books like that.
There is Baez loosening up. The 1-0 to Dobbs hit foul, and it's 1 ball and 1 strike. Joe Nelson, by the way, 2 innings of relief for the Red Sox. He allowed 3 hits and 1 run. This Red Sox bullpen has some bullets in it. Daniel Bard, 26 strikeouts, leads the American League. Then you have Del Carmen, who has excellent movement on his pitches, but they've also given up the long ball this year. 22 home runs allowed by the bullpen.
Well, sometimes fastballs give up homers.
That ball's hit well to right. J.D. Drew leaps and he makes the grab.
Pretty good outfielder. Dobbs is right there. That looked like a double off the bat.
All the balls that are carrying tonight, that one was carrying, but just not as much as the others.
Well, he got a great jump on. He's playing pretty deep too. And we'll teach that stuff. You know, you're either an athlete or you're not, and that's what that guy is, an athlete.
One away, Castro will bat for the first time. Castro came on the pinch run for Jimmy Rollins, who looked like he hurt his leg after getting a base hit in the 6th inning.
Yeah, we haven't gotten any official report on it. You know, this has been such a great night here. So many positives as we head towards the 9th inning. And that threw a little cold water on it when he pulled up lane heading to first base. Just get their lineup back where they want it.
To the count to Castro. Mentioned before that Castro hit his first home run on this date back in 1998. Hasn't hit a whole lot of home runs during his career. There's no doubt that he'll remember that first one. 36, Wheels.
That's not a lot.
Swing and bunt back to the mound. O'Connor flips it over to first.
36 more than we have.
That is very true. 2 outs here in the 8th. Well, it's time now for our Home Depot defensive play of the game.
This was a bullet hit by Dustin Pedroia. Sinking line drive. And a great job there by Placido Polanco. That is our Home Depot defensive play of the game. The Home Depot doing more on defense.
And now with 2 outs, Polanco will bat. He's 0 for 4 tonight. And he pulls it toward third. Beltre has it and slings it across the diamond. The Phillies go down in order here in the 8th inning. So the Phillies down in order the last 2 innings. Finishes up. Order your tickets now by logging on to Phillies.com. Saw that bat today. It is a beauty. I also saw the Charlie Manuel bat that he, well, not that he used, but the size and style bat that he used from Louisville Slugger with his signature on it tonight. Scott Brandreth, one of the guys that's the innovator with all these giveaways the Phillies have had. Bill's director of merchandising brought it around. I think it was a 34. I think I'm going to get this wrong. 34-32, or maybe 35. 30, it was a big bat.
It was a long 35 inches, 32
big
ounces.
One. It was a big bat. Big bat. Not as big as Alfonso Soriano's that he used in that series against the Phillies.
No, that's ridiculous.
35-35. Not as big as Ryan Howard's, which is a 35-34, but it was a big one.
Dick Allen used to swing a 40-ounce bat. That's ridiculous. And he would buggy whip it.
Dustin Pedroia 0 for 3 tonight, facing Danny Baez. Phillies up 5-1. And Pedroia lines one toward right center field. Victorino's over and in. One away. Again, this is not a save situation for Baez, but it's the kind of situation that Charlie Manuel wants to close the door on.
Well, he talks about it all the time. He feels that as you see Danny's numbers in this ballpark, 4 runs is like a save situation, even though it's not going to be in the books that way, that he'll use a closer a lot of times in a 4-run game because of the weight and score, especially against a lineup like this. And using Baez, it's obvious that Contreras is not available.
Here's Victor Martinez. He homered his first time up, 1 for 3.
Contreras was not in the game the other night, but he warmed up enough that they considered it like he was in.
As you mentioned, they kind of chart that, just to make sure a guy's arm's not being overused.
Oh yeah, they count everything and they pay careful attention to that. A lot of times, if a guy really gets lathered up out there, like he's going to come into a game, throws a lot of pitches, they'll regard that as they used it. That's why they don't try to get a guy up unnecessarily too often and have him go through a heavy warm-up.
Here's Youkilis with one away. And he takes a fastball inside. It's 1-0. Danny Baez has been in this kind of position before where he's finishing off the 9th inning. In fact, he has the most saves of anybody from Cuba in baseball history. Oh boy, that hurt. He just whacked that one right off his foot, and he is in a lot of pain.
And that's a tough guy, too. We'll come out and check him out. Terry Francona, the manager and trainer, are going to come out because they see Youkilis go down like that. They know that had to really hurt. Guys like this don't even like to show that. Oh, right off his toe. No wonder. Oh, man. Ouch. Right off the big toe. That nail will probably be the right color about Christmas.
1-1 the count to Youkilis. Off the outside corner, it's 2-1. Baez has 114 saves in his career. Again, this isn't a save situation. 114 saves in his career. Second most is Diego Segui, who is David Segui's father. You remember David Segui was a pretty good left-handed hitter, a good first baseman in the big leagues. Baez will take a walk, and he's behind 3 balls and 1 strike.
Yeah, and this is such a patient lineup that you don't want to give a hit up, then a walk, and then have one of the guys out come up that can pop one. Romero is still up in the bullpen, has been up, and J.D. Drew's on deck.
Fastball a little high, ball 4, and the Red Sox have 2 runners on. J.C. Romero is loosening.
They're thinking about it right now. Even though Drew isn't the tying run, they're thinking about whether they're going to do it or not, and they are.
Here comes Charlie. He's walking up the stairs, a little more than a walk now as he heads out to the mound. So with one out here in the ninth inning, it looks like J.C. Romero is going to be the new pitcher for the Phillies. And there's the signal from Charlie Manuel. So we've got an AT&T call to the bullpen here in the ninth inning. J.C. Romero is going to come on to try to help out Danny Baez. Charlie Manuel to go to the bullpen one more time. J.C. Romero is in his ninth ball game. No wins, no losses, one save, a 3.60 earned run average. And Romero comes on with Victor Martinez at second, Kevin Youkilis at first. Martinez singled, Youkilis walked against Danny Baez, and now J.D. Drew, a left-handed hitter against the lefty J.C. Romero. And Carlos Ruiz coming out to the mound to talk to J.C.
Well, J.C. was with the Red Sox at one time, and the reason they let him go, and Terry Francona talked about it, that, you know, the guy had good stuff, and he's done a good job for the Phillies since they got him, but he said he just had trouble throwing strikes. And you know their approach right now with a guy like J.D. Drew, who takes all kinds of pitches, they're going to make him throw a strike, you would think. At least one.
Fastball outside, 1 ball and no strikes. There's David Ortiz. Terry Francona just signaled for David Ortiz to come over. He wanted to talk to him, and he's probably telling him to make sure he gets himself ready. Drew has doubled tonight. He has struck out. He's also grounded out. Off the hands, he took a hack at it, and it's 1 ball and 1 strike.
Yeah, a little surprised at that.
Ortiz. Chopper toward first, a foul ball. So J.C. is ahead, 1 ball and 2 strikes. He came inside again. And he broke his back. So the runners will lead off again. And Carlos Ruiz again will go out to the mound to talk to J.C. Romero. Oh, this game will encore tonight at 10:30 on the Comcast Network. This is game 1 of 3 between the Phillies and the Red Sox, the start of interleague play yet again. Phillies will face mostly American League East teams, but they will head outside the East to take on the Indians. They will be here at the ballpark. And the Twins. 1-2 the count to Drew. The pitch from Romero. In the dirt, 2 balls and 2 strikes. On the Toyota Major League scoreboard, the Yankees have taken a 2-0 lead over the Mets. That game's in the top of the 8th inning. Up at Citi Field. And a changeup rolled over on it toward first, and Ryan Howard will take the out. 2 outs here in the 9th inning. Over to third goes Martinez. Up to second goes Youkilis. And more importantly than anything else, the second out is recorded. Here's Adrian Beltre.
Yeah, and you're going to go left-right now, but he's still not the tying run. The tying run's in the on-deck circle. And so you're going to stay with the matchup of the left-hander against Beltre, because you never know. You know, they could have possibly hit for Beltre with Ortiz. It probably was unlikely because he wouldn't have been the tying run at that time. But they're not going to take any chances.
There is David Ortiz leaning up next to the bat rack. Runners lead off second and third. Adrian Beltre has doubled tonight. He's also struck out and grounded out. Romero delivers a pitch inside and low. 1 ball and no strikes. First matchup between Beltre and J.C. Romero. Toward right field. That's a foul ball slicing out of play. So it's 1-1.
And Romero did come into the game with a tying run in the on-deck circle. And, you know, if he finishes this game, save.
There's Bill Hall. We get to Bill Hall. I think David Ortiz probably come out. Depending on what Charlie Manuel is going to do with J.C. Romero. He's got a right-hander loosening up. They go to the pen. Even let it, I don't know.
Well, he'd wait to see who they're going to hit.
The 1-1 pitch. Ooh, on the inside corner. A call. Strike 2 is 1-2. Now this crowd of more than 45,000 coming to their feet now as J.C. Romero is trying to close out game 1 of this 3-game series.
One of his best pitches to a right-handed batter is a changeup, and he has 2 strikes now. See if he makes Beltre try and go fishing.
A 1-2 pitch. Fastball a little high, and it's 2-2. That came in at 92 miles an hour. Good sign with JC's fastball being up at that level.
Yeah, I think he had an adrenaline rush there. You could see where Ruiz wanted it down and away, and he came up with it. Just overthrew it.
Not too many folks have left this ballpark here tonight. The 2-2 pitch. Inside he hits. How about that? The bases are now loaded with 2 away.
The thing about pitching inside in these situations, with, you know, that's why I thought he'd go away with a changeup.
Oh, and here comes David Ortiz. So with the bases loaded, even though there's a lefty on the hill for the Phillies, it is David Ortiz that will pinch hit for Boston. Well, it's time now for our Bloomberg Sports analysis of the game. And David Ortiz's decline in home run power. 2006 is when he hit 54 home runs, 23 home runs in 2008, 28 last year. Bloomberg Sports, the leader in data analysis, has developed an analytical product being used by the clubs. There's also a product for fans. Improve your fantasy play or track your favorite players and teams. Go to BloombergSports.com for details. And that's one of the issues that the Red Sox have faced is the decline of guys like David Ortiz.
Yeah, he made a comment about Terry Francona the other day about, you know, questioning pinch hitting for him and all that. And it was really uncalled for. The way that Terry Francona took care of David Ortiz during this decline that he's been through. And they had a little extended chat before the game in his office with the door closed.
Jason Varitek also was coming in from the bullpen. Another one of those veterans. So here's Ortiz with the bases loaded. Over third is Martinez. On second is Youkilis. And around at first is Adrian Beltre.
Well,
Phillies lead it 5-1.
This has certainly added a little extra drama to this that we didn't need.
See Ortiz's career numbers against the Phillies, against Romero. He is 1 for 5.
Gotta stay away from this guy.
When he does, it's down and away. 1 ball and no strikes. David Ortiz with 8 grand slams. Look at that batting average. There's a strike at the knees. It's 1-1.
Ortiz is probably going to wait until he got something middle in, or at least a strike on him. And now he has 1 strike, and both those pitches are away. Outfielders are really deep.
Trying to cut off the alleyway. And it's 1-2. So Romero, just like in the last at bat, works ahead, 1 ball and 2 strikes.
You see that pitch was away, and what he did, wide open. Hips flying open, trying to pull the ball and hit the ball to the ballpark, and that's what you would expect him to do. And that's where you have to stay away from a guy in this spot.
325 career home runs. He's got the bases loaded. And J.C. Romero trying to put the clamps on it. The runners lead off. The 1-2 pitch. Swinging at a fly ball straight away center field. Well hit, but there's room. Victorino's there, and he makes the catch, and the ball game is over. J.C. Romero got it in just a little bit, and David Ortiz flies out to the warning track in center. You can breathe a sigh of relief here in Philadelphia as the Phils have taken game 1 of this 3-game series, 5-1 over the Red Sox.
Breathe a sigh of relief. Well, they decided to come inside, and they got it far enough in that he didn't get the head on it. But boy, he crushed it. I mean, he hit it hard.
So J.C. Romero closes things out for Cole Hamels, who improves his record to 5-2. Jason Worth, one of the big blows tonight, a 2-run home run, 426 feet here at this ballpark. And still it came down to a couple of very tense moments in the 9th inning before the Phils moved to 11 games over the 500 mark. Our W.B. Mason deliveries of the game. Well, the Phils got things rolling.
Well, they got the long ball rolling right. John Lackey had gotten through the first 3 without any problems, really. And then Ryan Howard goes out in the left field. That tied it up. Then in the 5th inning, with a man on, take a ride on that. He could put a flight attendant and seatbelts on that one. Unbelievable. Into the upper deck, bounce down into the lower deck. That's one of the